The Bristol Channel, one of the most unforgiving stretches of water in Britain. Powerful tides, endless coastline and incredible fishing. But for me it's completely unknown, and today I'm exploring new marks, learning the water and hopefully finding some fish. There you go, just unloading the stuff out the car. So the plan is, so we are here now. I want to fish up by Holstone Point up here. So we're going to walk the path along here and then there's a cut through to get just to there. Right, made it down with all the stuff. This is where I want to be, just to the right of these rocks over here. So we're going to go one quite far out, one quite close in. But let's get set up. Right, so rig choice for today. We're going to go with little 4.0 pulley pennel. So all that is two hooks like that at the end. So I think you've got a 4.0 and a 3.0 on there. I'm also going to put a 5.5 ounce grip weight onto our little imp there. So we're going to tie the main line onto the little swivel bead. Once that is on there, we hook that onto our little imp. So all the weight is then at the bottom of the rig. So then what happens is when that hits the water, this obviously flicks up, releases our bait, and they can sit separately. And with the first bait settled on the seabed, all that was left to do was wait. Now today's choice of bait was soft crab. Before making the drive over, I stopped by one of the local tackle shops to pick some up, and also get a bit of advice on where to start. Whenever I'm fishing somewhere new, that's always my first stop. Nobody knows the local waters better than the people behind the counter, and they're almost always more than happy to share a bit of knowledge. Loads of fresh, juicy scents on these guys. So fresh is best. Oh, first lot of baits are out. I've been sat down for about 3 minutes. Just had a little knock on that right hand rod, so I don't know whether that's the weight sort of settling into the seabed. Maybe we're already onto a fish. The initial take had me convinced I'd found the bottom. I was already preparing myself to have lost a lead, but after a bit of patience and a little bit of persuasion, the fish actually managed to work itself out of the snag. Head down, oh, there we go. There's a fish on the cards already, so I can't complain. There's a little conger eel, just taking that crab bait on the pennel hook there. Look. I wasn't quite sure whether or not I actually had a fish on, because obviously I couldn't feel much and I thought the lead weight was just dragging along the stones. This might not look like much, but conger eels are Britain's largest eel species, capable of growing over 3 meters long. Thankfully, this one was a little bit more manageable. Luckily, I do have my pliers with me today, so it should be nice and easy. Tiny little conger eel, but there's a fish on the card, so let's go put him back. Off he goes, swimming straight back out. Right, let's get rebaited and back out. With the hook rebaited and the rig reset, it was time to get back out there. The tide was climbing fast, and every second the bait spent out the water was another second it couldn't catch a fish. Now I did actually learn something which is quite good from that fish. Initially when I struck into it, it was snagged, so you've got to be careful of that, I think, because if there is a bit of a reef, I think I'm fishing just on the edge of a reef. Obviously we've got the point out that way. I kind of sat just on the left of the reef where it goes a bit clear, so obviously that one was biting for a little while, and then obviously managed to find its way into a snag. Obviously a smooth hound shouldn't do that, it should just run away, so fingers crossed we'll be alright. But it's good. I'm learning the ground out there, which is, you know, a benefit of catching. We're getting a bit of play on both rods now, so we're just going to sit and kind of see. Right, so just brought that right rod in. Did have a little bite, so did strike into it. Felt like I pulled it out its mouth, so I'm not sure. Obviously what it was could have been a little strap eel again, but bait has been played with, so gonna take it completely off and get some fresh ones baited up.
As bites began to fade, so did my chances. A small conger was all I had to show for the first day, and with the tide already slipping away, it was time to pack up and head home. But I wasn't finished. The very next day I was back out, ready for another shot and determined to settle the score. Supplied with fresh bait, a little more local knowledge and a better understanding of the mark, I was ready for another day on the channel.
Day 2, we are back again. I've gone slightly further over from where I was last time. I was quite close to the point over there last time. But the guys at the tackle shop, when I got my bait this morning, they said try like 200 yards off, might produce some more fish. So no harm in giving it a go. We know what it's like over there anyway, so we're not missing out. And we will give it a go just here.
Conditions were a little different today. The wind had picked up and the tide was pushing even harder than yesterday, and I'm glad I bought gear built exactly for this kind of fishing. I'm fishing with a pair of Akuma surf rods paired with a Surf 8K reels, all sat on a simple tripod. It's a setup designed for powerful tidal venues like this. Casting 5-ounce leads, it has no trouble holding bottom against the relentless pull of the channel, leaving the baits exactly where I need them to be.
Right, that's the first one out. That was probably around about there. So that's going to be our quite close in one. And then the left one I'm going to try and go a bit further out with.
Despite my best efforts and a further 6 hours in another 30-degree day, I still had nothing to show for it. I'll be honest, I was starting to get frustrated, but moments like this are a reminder of why I love fishing in the first place. It's so easy to become focused on the end result that you forget everything else it has to offer. Over the past couple of days, I've been lucky enough to experience some incredible wildlife, some stunning scenery, and places I just honestly have never discovered otherwise. That being said, I wasn't ready to admit defeat just yet. I still had one final plan.
Right, I refuse to give up. I'm back yet again for the third day in a row. This time I've got my light spinning gear, so I'm a bit more in my element. We're going to go off Hellstone Point, where those rocks are at the end of the beach, and just give it a go for some wrasse. I've seen a couple being caught there. It's probably nothing like Cornwall, unfortunately. Got it quite good down there, but I'm a bit more in my element and I know a bit more about what I'm doing. So let's keep on the long walk. Slightly longer one this time as well, because we've got to go up to the point and down. I've been wandering around for ages, like up and down the cliffs. I just can't get down to where I want to be. It's just me being alone. It's not very safe, not very smart. So I think what I might do is go back down to the beach and see if I can hop across from the beach up onto the rocks instead of trying to scale down. But just seek shelter in this little building. I'll have to look up what it was actually used for. I think it might be an old lifeboat thing, but also the wind is really strong, so I'm a bit on the edge about scaling and climbing rocks. So. But let's have a go on the beach. I'm now just off Hellstone Point, which is really nice. It's where I want to be. And it looks like some lovely ground out here. I do have to be really careful because obviously there are some big tides and I don't want to get cut off. I've come here, I've got about an hour now until the tide starts coming back in. So I know I'm safe for at least an hour, and then I need to ideally start working my way back up round. I've gone as far round as I want to go, and then I can just slowly start making my way back closer. But I do have some rock shoes on and obviously some shorts, So if I need to do a bit of wading back, I can. And I have obviously got a life jacket on as well, just a little spin lock alto, just a self pulley on there. Got a lovely little spinning setup today. Got the Propala Classic Countdown paired with the ITX 3000 just there. So perfect little setup for wrasse or maybe even some bass, we'll see what we get. And then just some little 360 GTs in all sorts of colours. I'm sure I'm going to lose some and switch over to a different colour. But all I'm going to do now is just get out onto the point and start sort of fan casting, so working my way in different directions to work out where the fish are. There is actually a couple of people fishing. So we got a guy just here lure fishing on the edge of the rocks like I was yesterday, and then a couple more people in the distance bait fishing over there. So we'll go and ask them if they've had any luck on the way back. But for now, head out to the point here and just fan cast all the way around. We've got a nice little tidal rip there through that rock.
Sometimes fishing is less about luck and more about covering water. That's exactly where fan casting comes in. Instead of casting into the same place every time, each cast is spread at a wider angle, gradually searching the water in front of you. It's one of the simplest yet most effective ways to locate fish when you're exploring new marks.
That's one lure gone. No, I actually learned something interesting the other day while looking up about ballan wrasse fishing. I learned that they actually use them up in the salmon farms as like a natural fish cleaner, because they eat all the like parasites and stuff off the salmon, so you've got nice clean farmed salmon thanks to ballan wrasse. So there you go, nice little interesting facts for the day. Well, it was worth a go. Giving it my best shot. Lost a couple of lures now. I'm gonna slowly start making my way back. Still absolutely loads of time before the tide came in. As you can see, tide is still out there. What a lovely little mark, even if we didn't catch anything.
Now, on my way back, I went to speak to those couple guys bait fishing, and what started as a quick chat soon turned into fishing the rest of the session together. It's one of those things I love the most about this hobby. Complete strangers are often more than happy to share their knowledge and enjoy a day with you. It also turned out that one of the guys ran his own YouTube channel called Rod and Reel UK. So if you're into sea fishing, definitely go and give his channel a watch. I'll tag it on screen now. And as it turned out, they'd already caught my target species before I'd even arrived, a smooth hound.
But yeah, got a beautiful little smooth hound here, and look what you caught it on. It was the hardback crabs from the estuary. But mate, what a stunning fish. Yeah, that's your first smooth hound, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Hey, not a bad one, and a good start. Should we get it back in?
Let's get him back in.
Nice one. Whoa.
Yeah, it may have bricked the bait off if it's there anyway. Any taps?
Like it.
Is that a good goer?
It could have been.
Already the session felt far more alive than mine had, and it didn't take long before we were into something.
Yeah, that's hound, I think.
Just as we're going to leave, there we go.
Oh, lovely. You know what? It may be a smaller one, but after all the hiking up and down this blooming shingle bag, I'll tell you that. Well, on that bombshell, I think I'm going to pack up and probably head back. There you go. Nice little bass. Lovely.
As we began winding in for the final time, there was one last surprise waiting for us. One of the rigs had been carrying a 3-bearded rockling for a while, with a 6-ounce lead holding it firmly on the seabed. The little fish simply hadn't been strong enough to move the rod tip, meaning it had gone completely undetected until we retrieved it.
Yeah, so it's part of a cod family. I think it's on the little barb down there. And then
The other two
and the other two that he's kindly demonstrated. Just there. That is a really pretty coloured one.
Although I never managed to catch the smoothhound that I came here for, I still left with something just as valuable. Over the course of 3 days, I'd explored new marks, learnt from local anglers, and caught a few unexpected species, and experienced one of the most unique stretches of coastline I've ever fished. Sometimes fishing isn't just about ticking a species off the list, it's the places it takes you, the people you meet, and the memories you make along the way. If you enjoyed coming along for the journey, I'd really appreciate it if you left a like and subscribe on the channel. It genuinely helps support future videos and adventures like this.